Moms for Liberty really worked miracles.
We have a crisis in America in public education. This is the future of our kids and our country.
You are joyful warriors.
And we are just getting started. Good morning. Welcome to the Fire of Liberty show. We have breaking news yesterday that we want to get and dive right into. The National Report Card, the NAEP scores, came out yesterday for 12th and 8th graders. And not just dismal, not just depressing, but truly really shines a light on the crisis we are in education, and mostly in public education in America, but in education as a whole. We've had education reformers working and fighting in different ways for, I'd say, the last couple decades, starting charter schools, trying to come up with new innovative ways, because so many of us in America have seen this coming. We've been watching it happening. And then you've got people like the teachers unions and others saying, don't look here, everything's great, everything's fine. But what we saw yesterday in those NAEP results is really, it's detrimental to the future of America. And our guest today, that's not what we brought her on for, but this is what we're going to talk about to start off this morning. Her name is Kelli Harris. She is our chapter chair in Iredell. Did I say it right?
You say it Iredell?
Yes. Iredell County, North Carolina. I have to say it with it. I have to say it with an accent. I feel like I do. And she's also one of our state ambassadors for North Carolina. And recently she stepped into the role of kind of managing all the ambassadors in the country. And so we're excited to have her here. But I want to talk to you a little bit about what you think. Like, did you see those results yesterday? Did you see them come out?
Yes, I've just seen them come out and people are already talking about them. And honestly, I didn't think that they could get worse than the last time they were all shared. So it's just very concerning. And really, we just need all hands on deck at this point.
Yeah. So it's like there's, what's the solution to this problem? And we can talk about that a little bit. But just for those that are watching that maybe didn't see the release yesterday or haven't been following the news that closely on this, 22% of 12th graders, so graduating from high school, 22% are proficient in math, which means 80% of high school graduates are not proficient in math. That is a crisis in education. We've already known that only a third of American fourth graders are reading on grade level. And we've been screaming that since we started Moms for Liberty. And the reason that is so important is because if you can't read by third and fourth grade, your chances are you're not going to ever be a strong reader. And so your education opportunities are limited. And so now we know that 22% of 12th graders can't do math, and only 30%, I think, of 8th graders can do science. Like it's across the board.
Yeah, it's very scary. I happen to have learned that in North Carolina, we're not graduating math teachers anymore, too. So there's a real crisis in just having people that want to go into education to teach math. So add that to the trouble.
I wonder why that is. Can I blame it all on Common Core?
Yes, I feel like we probably could. Mm-hmm.
Common Core math. It's interesting because, I was just an average mom when Common Core math hit when my kids were younger. And just, I don't know if you recall, but the videos and the memes and all the things that came out, like there was a house that was half car, half house, broken down. And it was like, oh, house and car built with Common Core math, because it was so foreign to all of us. And it was dividing parents and children. I mean, every mom and dad will tell you, even those that have math degrees, like tears every night from my kid, my wife, from me, like the family just at war over math over the kitchen table every night. And so I think about that often, because after I got on the school board, I was able to dig in a little bit more and understand. And I had a math teacher that loved Common Core math sit down and explain it to me.
Mm-hmm. How'd that go?
It actually
Did you
went
understand
well.
it after?
I understood what they were doing. And so I'm going to botch it up a little bit right now. But what they were doing is presenting 6 different ways to solve a math problem.
Wow.
Or 5, or whatever the number was.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is average mom and dad, we learned one way.
Yep.
And it, worked okay for the most part. We got the right answer. And so Common Core math is saying, well, some kids' brains work this way and some work this way. And so we're going to teach them all 6 ways and let them figure out the best way to get there. I think it went afoul in a lot of different ways. One was kids had to learn all 6 ways, master all 6 ways. And you just said you're doing it this way so kids can figure out which way is best for them. And if you couldn't master one of the other ways, and some of those ways were taking, if you remember, taking numbers, rounding them to whole numbers, adding it up, then subtracting those numbers back out. And then, it's like 42 steps when the rest of us used to just add, carry the one, and get your number. And so it's just a disaster. I don't think we can blame just Common Core math, but I think it would be interesting to look at the dates when we started Common Core math in this country. And now that our math scores are, 20%, 22% can do math. Is that the kids that started with Common Core math?
I think that there's something to look for there for sure.
I think you're right, because my son is 24 and he was introduced to Common Core math. And so I absolutely, oh man, we're going to go pull this onion back and go prove that it's Common Core math that has done this to our math scores. But education as a whole, we just talked about science. We just talked about reading. Any thoughts?
Well, I feel that a lot of people believe that there's a lot of behavior issues in the schools. So there's a lot of kids that are there that aren't even interested in learning. And so teachers are doing a lot of just managing the classroom. I think that the numbers are big in classrooms and the schools are big.
You guys don't have a class size amendment in North Carolina. In Florida, we used to have, I think it's still in place, a class size amendment.
They always seem to get fudged, the numbers a little bit. There might be one, but then because they have no other option, they have to go ahead and, let people into the classes. And then it depends. Charter schools might have different standards as the public schools do. But I do know that the classroom sizes are pretty big. And of course, when you don't have enough teachers, so we had the big teachers leaving, and then you had 2 classes meeting for one. And we had an issue at our district school where they had like a kind of a virtual option where the teacher would get half pay for kind of showing up on screen. So they've had to come up with a lot of
creative ways
ideas.
to,
yes.
Yeah. Teachers don't want to teach. And if you ask the teachers union, they say, oh, it's because they're paid so poorly. But when you really talk to teachers, I know what I hear. Yes, they'll throw out pay, but teachers aren't doing their job for pay. Teachers do their job, I think, historically because they have a heart for children. They love to teach. They like the environment or the historical environment. And when you rob them of that with discipline problems and no backup for teachers in the classroom when there's discipline problems, I love that you brought that up because it's destroying classrooms. And that's the number one thing I say that teachers don't want to go sit in the classroom to be punched or have a chair thrown at them.
No, it's happening too much. It's really scary. It really is. I think there was a child in Texas that was really severely beaten and had to have a surgery for his skull. That was recently. Honestly, it's just happening way too much. School should be a safe place, and whatever we need to do to make that happen, we need to make happen. And, I think with Moms for Liberty, we're asking people to get involved, and that doesn't just mean being a critic of everything that's wrong. It means actually, showing up. And in our county, we've actually come up with different ways to get into the schools to support teachers. In one district, they had something called the Mooresville Motivators, and it was just hallway, people just in there to help kids make sure they were getting to class, give them a high five. So I think that as much as we know there's problems, then we need to be ready to be the solution.
I love that you have brought that up. And so I think, throughout this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about relationships that you, your chapter, and others have built around North Carolina, in your school district, in your county, and across the state to strengthen the work that's being done. But I just want to talk a minute more. I know I feel like you're trying to move us into the happy space. And I'm like, no, we're going to talk about this horrible breaking news of these terrible test scores, because I also want to lay it at the feet of the unions, because they have been in control of public education for decades. And maybe it's just a personal problem I have, because I had sitting on a school board, I had to work with, I feel like, a dishonest union leader and watch what they did. And then to watch on the national level what they did to us as an organization when we started standing up keeping schools closed, when we tried to push back, when we tried to advocate for students. And then, now that I've looked under their curtain and seen what their national issues are at their events every summer, that they're voting on, Israel and Palestinian issues and abortion and anything but education, and never addressing the crisis in test scores. And so I think they are a complete failure. I think that we can lay a lot of this at their feet.
Well, I definitely think you can follow the money, and we know where the money goes, and it's to a certain political party. And I think that is very telling. And I've been watching some of those speeches, and they are very mad. They yell a lot. Yeah. So unfortunately, they're getting themselves into some, candid shots of pure anger. And I don't think that's good to be around children, honestly.
Both. Well, the truth of the matter is Becky Pringle, right, head of American Federation for Teachers, and then, or no, she's the NEA, and then Randy Weingarten, AFT. Mm-hmm. You watch them, and they don't think they're around too many kids, is my point. I don't think Randy even has kids of her own. And at that level, they're making like $1 million a year or something. Yeah. Their salary is $500,000, $700,000 a year. And when you watch them speak, right, they're like, like you see like the rage in their fists. And it's like,
something's not working. So that's what we're all about. We think that education should be as local as possible, and that the people that you bump into at the grocery store should be the ones that are making decisions. And, that's what we're all about. So I see that in my county. Yeah. So I'm blessed. And I'd love to share about that.
Yeah. And you're able to hold them accountable in the grocery store, which is, I'm not going to recommend it, but as a former school board member, I went from always wearing like cutoff jean shorts and an old t-shirt to Publix to always making sure I looked decent, because I was going to be held accountable at every
absolutely
every time I went to the grocery store. And so, but there's something to that. I'm not untouchable. I'm not in DC. I'm literally at the grocery store. And when we were talking about rezoning our schools, I have to I have to put on a big hat to go to the grocery store. So I love that. And so back to the unions and in the NEA for a second, though, because Congressman Mark Harris recently sponsored a bill that we were able to stand with him at the Capitol and kind of introduce to America to end the charter of the NEA. They actually have a congressional charter, which they are the only union in the country that has a congressional charter. It's been around for like 100 years. And Congressman Mark Harris has stood boldly and said, no more. Like these are not people that are for America, that are helping America. As a matter of fact, they're destroying America. Yeah. And there shouldn't be a congressional charter. But I think Congressman Mark Harris is from North Carolina.
He sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually really neat. I was working at the polls for someone who was running for school board, who you'll hear about in a little bit too, Captain K. And I met one of his greatest fans, who is Jan Wright. So shout out to these friends of mine. And she was with Family Research Family Research Center, which is a community impact team. And that was under Mark Harris's church at Trinity Baptist. So we got to talking, and
hold on, Congressman Mark Harris has a church?
Yes, he does. So he's also a pastor first.
Okay.
Before representative.
Got it. And I'm not sure I knew that, or anybody knows that. So
he is at a local Trinity Baptist church, which is absolutely fabulous and a beautiful congregation, great people. And she was like, she knew I was doing Moms for Liberty, and we were kind of looking for a space. We'd been like to a restaurant, an event center. We were looking around to where we could kind of settle in. And she recommended Mark Harris's church. They had a fellowship hall with 3 TVs set up so we could do information and sessions and things like that. And so she arranged the meeting, and I got to sit with him and in his office. I'll never forget. He's just a really remarkable man who's had a lot of, historical, interesting things happen. There were pictures of him with different people and books everywhere, and he's had a wonderful career. And he'd already ran for representative once, and there was a whole scandal involved. And then he ran again and he won. So we were thrilled. But we've been there meeting for 3 years now.
So your chapter actually meets in Congressman Mark Harris's church, because he's also a pastor.
Correct. Yes. All those things.
It's a small world.
Yes. And I didn't know he was doing this until I saw you two standing up at the Capitol having a press conference. So I was so thrilled.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think sometimes I've been reading a book on leadership and being a CEO, because full disclosure, I've never been a CEO before. And it was just saying over communicate. And I'm like, I got to do better on that. And so, yeah, we probably should have told the people in North Carolina that we were roping in your congressman.
All
And,
good. No, we have the message now, and I thanked him. He actually came and spoke and at our local GOP event, and I was able to thank him. And we're looking forward to continuing to have parents sign. I think we have a spot on our website now
Mhm.
where people can come in, and we want to hear your voice. Please look it up on the website and support this, that you don't want the unions to be in control of our schools anymore. I mean, think of Chicago schools, Baltimore schools, Philadelphia schools. There's a lot of places that we need to be focused on and coming in to help. And I don't think the unions are doing it.
Yeah, we have that 22% in 12th grade that can do math, but there's like entire schools in Baltimore and Chicago, and I don't have the number off the top of my head, but double-digit schools that have 0% that can do math.
I've seen
And
that. Mhm.
it's just not acceptable in America.
it's
We
scary.
are, we're a wealthy country. Even the people in poverty in America are doing better than in some third world countries. There's just no excuse in America that kids can't read and can't do math or know science. And so we've got to do better. And I'm just probably going to harp that drum this whole episode.
Go ahead, that's all
because
right.
I'm so frustrated by the announcement. And so let's see, you built a great relationship with your congressman.
Yes, yep.
And so you are holding your chapter meetings at his church.
Mhm.
And another big thing that's coming up in just 7 days is Constitution Day.
Yes.
And so I transitioned to that for a couple of reasons. It's something coming up in 7 days, and you've got a great story/experience that I want to talk about. But what your chapter is doing for Constitution Day in your school district. And to start off, we have a great relationship with 917 Society nationally. I wish I would have brought the number with me of how many constitutions nationally. We have given hundreds of thousands.
Yes,
this
hundreds
is
of
year
thousands.
3. We've partnered with them. They donate pocket constitutions to our chapters, and then our chapters deliver them to 8th graders across the country. And this is the first year, so this is year 3, that people are telling me all over the place that schools and teachers are actually reaching out to the chapters and saying, are my pocket constitutions coming this year? Because they're starting to depend on them for Constitution Week
Why
and
not?
Constitution
Why
Day.
not?
And so are you guys, first of all, are you doing the delivering of the constitutions? Do you do that every year?
Yes. So I have already delivered to our largest district, and we're a little grumpy because the other districts said they purchased their own, and we delivered to them last year. So we're like, I don't think that was a good use of tax dollars, but it's okay. We'll forgive you this time. Maybe we didn't reach out soon enough. But yes, for 3 years, we have done Constitution Day. And as I mentioned, the gentleman who ran, for school board, Captain K, this was his initiative. And he started a program where we would volunteer actually in the schools. So he's a fan of Moms for Liberty. We endorsed him as a candidate.
He's on the school board?
He is on the school board,
Okay.
yes. And so as he was seated, he thought of this idea, I'm sure from seeing how much we were doing with Constitution Day, and we were getting the pocket constitutions. So we invite members of our community to go into the schools, and they can come with kind of their own idea of what they want to share. Teachers will help them and have maybe a book ready or some activities that they're doing. And we're just there to support the teaching of the day and show our love for country and our love for our founding documents. So the first year there were like 20 volunteers that went in. The second year there were 40, and we are lining up for 83 volunteers. There's 83 slots. So Iredell County, sign up.
It's so exciting.
Slots this
So
year.
do teachers in the county say, I would love to have a volunteer come in for this special day? Because like Junior Achievement, other organizations, at least in my school district here, do that. They sign up for a financial literacy day. The teachers agree. Sometimes they do a whole school. Like I used to volunteer with them, and we would go in and blanket the whole school. It would be Junior Achievement Day. So I think ultimately you could do that.
We would love to see this expand. It could expand as much as they want to. I think, we really were building relationships. I know that it's more work for them. You have to contact the teachers. You have to get a sign up genius. You're trusting people to come in and be prepared in the school. So I'm sure the first year it was kind of like, hey, what are these, people
Yeah.
want to come into our school. But I know I had a great experience last year, and I can't wait to go this year. So I think we're really building, and people are becoming more comfortable coming into the schools, and they appreciate us more.
So what was it like for you? So you did this last year. You went into a classroom. Were you
Yes.
there all day? Or are you there for an hour? How
So
does it
I
work?
just did an hour, and I
Okay.
went with my husband. Great time to shout out my husband, Larry. I hope you're watching. He is a former Navy, and he loves to speak about that. So he talked about defending the Constitution, being in the Navy. And so we went side by side, and we were with the first grade class, and the teacher had some projects ready. And then we just kind of spoke to them about, I had just been, after the Philadelphia summit, I had been in Independence Hall. So I brought that.
So you were able to
I was
talk
just
about
in
that.
Independence Hall. I was there where the Constitution was signed, and it was amazing.
So fantastic.
And then the kids ask great questions. Obviously you open it up, and they have the most wild and fun questions, and you just enjoy it. I would love, I've thought about being a teacher, but it's a lot of work. I love you, teachers. That's another thing I can just give a shout out. Thank you to all the educators that are getting up every day and doing the good work that they do in our schools.
I appreciate that you said that, because we often get called, teacher bashers and all types of
Anti-public
things.
school.
Yeah, not the case at all. I mean,
Mm-mm.
my children went and still do go to public school. I served on a public school board, obviously, and we're trying to save education in America.
Mhm.
We're not the enemy. We want education to be better, and if you want education to stay exactly the same, we're going to fight you on it. And because we want what's best for our children, for all children, and for
100%.
America. And so hopefully we're getting to a place maybe we can all start working together a little bit more. I love what you guys are doing there with Constitution Day. At Moms for Liberty, we have our Madison Meetup program, which we launched when we launched in 21. And it's pretty basic. And so we are looking now to revamp it for 2026 for America's 250th birthday. And maybe we can incorporate some of what you're doing in Iredell County to expand that to other chapters. I would love for Moms for Liberty to be the premier organization that's going in to schools on Constitution Day, maybe with some sound curriculum that can be used nationwide to teach true principles and the beauty of our founding document. So
yes,
you might be the inspiration. You and what's his name again?
Michael Kubinik,
Michael,
Captain K, we call
Captain
him.
K. You and Captain K.
He happens to be in Europe right now with his wife.
Yeah.
His wife is a wonderful watercolorist, and she's at a special retreat there. But I'm sure he'll see this when he gets back. And we're very thankful for the work that he's doing. And I feel like this is a good transition to plug. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Because anybody that knows me knows that I love Patriot Academy. So that's where I really found my love for the Constitution. And it's because they do this amazing video series. And that was being done at the church at Trinity Baptist. So I took the classes, and then I became a coach. And then I gave the classes for people that were in my chapter and other community members. And then I became just a huge fan. And so I want to just plug the Patriot Academy for anyone who just wants, the Constitution, it's a hard read, if you just sit down and read it. But I'll tell you that Patriot Academy and the videos brings it to life, shows the historical documents, talks about the founding fathers in a real way, and gives you that real self duty, like that you are the government. We are the people. This is our nation.
Yeah.
And it's turning out the way it is because of the effort that we're putting into it. So no complaining. We've got to change it. We've got to do what we need to do.
I love that inspiration from you. That was good. That was solid. We'll make sure we clip that for a reel later. So it's we the people. It's, we all have shirts that say that, and we use that terminology, but what does that really mean? And that means we the people, like the power is with us, the government is with us. The problem I think nowadays is we don't teach the youth and those that are younger that that's a unique thing.
Mhm.
And before United States of America, that wasn't a thing anywhere. And so somehow we've got to reiterate that. And Constitution Day is a great time to do that. So we want to
Yes.
challenge all of you at home right now to pull out that Constitution. You said it's a hard read. It's not that hard of a read. You can read it in the next 7 days, a little bit each day. We have a little book that you can get to go along with it. If you want to take longer, the Patriot Academy does have that great program. It's all online. It's a video series that you can watch. And over there is Rick Green, the founder of Patriot Academy. And then in those videos, if I recall, like Tim and David Barton are both in those videos.
From
Rick's
Wall
kids
Builders.
when they were
Yes.
little.
Oh, I love to see the kids.
Yeah, they're
And
little.
they do a lot of reciting. And I'm going to go ahead and do something because I wanted to do something for Constitution Day, and we're having a meeting.
Wait,
and
hold on. You're going to do something right now?
I'm going to do something right now.
What are you going to do right now?
I'm going to try to recite the preamble, which happens on the videos, and I did work on it. So let's see if I can do it.
Before you go, I just want to say every year, people are sick of seeing it every year because he's 17 now. I think he was 4. My kids had to memorize the preamble probably before they could read. And so I have a video of him in the backseat of the car just saying the preamble. He can't even pronounce the words, but he can say it. And so every year on Constitution Day, I post it and act like it's the greatest thing. And people are like, you shared that the last 10 years.
I'm like,
it
I
feels
want to see
so
that.
amazing. Okay, I'll post
Well,
it.
now you've made me nervous.
So
but
now,
listen,
can you do it as well as my 4-year-old
I
did?
hope so.
That's the
I
question.
do want to share that we were up at the fair. We have a county fair, and I was trying it because I wanted to practice up. Because if I go in and I do this in a classroom, I better be able to do it. But I said, I want to practice. And a gentleman, he was in his 40s, he was a nice guy. He was like, oh, I remember memorizing that. And he started shooting out some things, and he kind of had the words.
He
and
got it all wrong.
domestic and things like that. So, so let's see if I can roll into
Do it right into the camera, right over there, because
Okay.
this will be a great reel for posterity.
Okay. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, do establish and ordain this Constitution of the United States of America.
Bingo.
I think
nailed it. You nailed it. You got it.
Well, thank you. And that's just
fist bump.
that's just one of the beautiful things. You could break down what is general welfare, what is domestic tranquility. Guys, we don't have domestic tranquility right now. The war is in the streets of America, and we have to turn things around. I don't like a divided America. That's not what we pledge allegiance to. So I just pray that we will all take responsibility to do our part. We have got to turn things around.
I absolutely agree with you. And I have that deep love and patriotism for our country, for our founding. And it breaks
That's
my
how
heart.
Moms for Liberty started. So
yeah,
you started reading the Constitution
with
and
Marie Rogerson. And like 6 or 7 of us, Monique Miller, who's now on our board of directors. We were just in my living room looking for something to do during COVID, eating a lot of chocolate.
I heard about that chocolate. Okay, someone left me chocolate covered potato chips. It was Karen. Thank you, Karen. I actually thanked her
Those are a local
That's
favorite.
amazing. That's yes.
Yeah,
so good.
Grimaldi's here locally. It's a thing around
Thank
here.
you.
So I will make sure Karen knows. And so the founding documents are everything, and our patriotism in this country and is everything for the future of this country.
The shedding of blood happened for us to be free. We can never forget that. Never.
I love your heart on this so much. So if you are at home, Patriot Academy is a great opportunity, and they're good friends of ours. Was it April of this year? We took a little over 100 of our moms down to Patriot Academy there in Texas, and we did the 3-day, I don't even know, what do they call it? It is like boot camp, Constitution boot camp.
The legislative experience.
Something
We called
like
it a
that.
boot camp, which made total sense for us. But I think
well,
they call
because we
it
were
their...
in Texas and it was boots, and so we were trying to be cute.
Yes, and we went and did some. We thought it was going to be line dancing, but it was 2-step.
No, it wasn't even that. It was
it
a
was
boom box
wonderful.
left on the stage. So we do want to play a little video for you that Patriot Academy made after we left. It's a promotional video for them and their Constitution experience, but it showcases our experience that we were there. And so it's just a 2-minute video. Go ahead and watch that now.
Hey friends, I'm Rick Green, founder of Patriot Academy. I'm standing in the House chamber at the Patriot Academy campus. There's about 100 folks that are getting to be legislators for a couple of days. They're learning about the Constitution. They're learning communication skills. They're learning how to go back to their communities and start brush fires of liberty, restoring biblical values and constitutional principles. And you can do the same thing.
You think you understand how our nation works. You think you understand what's going on in our nation, but we have no clue. And I think this is a great place to renew and restore your love for your country.
My name is Catalina Stuhle. I'm the National Director for Moms for Liberty. The whole idea of Patriot Academy, it resonates a lot to me. This is the epicenter of patriotism in the heart of Texas.
When I saw the cottages, I fell in love and I was so happy. Everything was so new.
Our beds are so comfortable, really fluffy pillows and nice soft bedding. It's been a really fun experience for us.
The representation that you see here is very similar to Congress or Senate or any capital in the States.
Hi, I'm Tina Deskovich, co-founder and executive director of Moms for Liberty. We encourage anyone that's considering coming to Patriot Academy and bringing their team to come. You will not regret it. You will leave here empowered, encouraged, and you will be well prepared to go back to your community to be the most effective advocate that you can be.
God's hand is on this place in such an amazing way. I highly recommend that you come and experience for yourself the amazing opportunity of Patriot Academy.
If you would like to bring the people from your organization and have this whole place to yourself, get a hold of us and come enjoy the Patriot experience in Fredericksburg, Texas at the Patriot Academy campus.
Welcome back to the Fire of Liberty show. I'm Tina Deskovich, the CEO and co-founder of Moms for Liberty. And we've got Kelli Harris here. She's our chapter chair in Iredell County, North Carolina, and one of the North Carolina state ambassadors and the lead ambassador leading all the other ambassadors. So it's an honor to have her here today. You just watched a video from Patriot Academy. They are our good friends and partners, teaching the Constitution like nobody else and the legislative process. And we were just saying before the break and watching that video that we brought in April, I think of this year, over 100 of our chapter leaders down there to Fredericksburg, Texas, which is in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
And for like a 3-day boot camp, we called it. And it was, I don't know, I'll let you describe it. How was it?
Well, it was awesome. I mean, you just walk in and there's all these desks and it just looks like you're in a legislature because we go to legislatures now. For North Carolina, I've been to Raleigh many times and you watch what happens in the General Assembly. Well, they basically got that there for anyone to experience. And there were amazing interns and I want to give them a shout out because these are young people who one is already an author, has written a book about the Alamo. They were so well-spoken and they were teaching us. So here we were, you know, the 30 and 40 somethings, and these young people were giving us the examples, having some mock debates, which were quite funny, by the way. One was, I think, whether or not I won't recall, but it was just great. And then we did mock committee meetings. We had mock bills that we would argue and add amendments. And it was just really neat. Some people jumped right in and just really looked very ready to go. I'm not ready to be a legislator. That's not why I got involved with Moms for Liberty. That looks like a very hard job. But I really appreciated learning about the process. And I think the final event that we did where we all signed the Constitution, I thought it was the Declaration of Independence, excuse me, which is hand in hand with the Constitution. Good time to say that. But we all got to sign that and it was a very meaningful experience. So it's wonderful. They take good care of you. And if you can do that, take your family and go. There's also a constitutional carry course that if you want to shoot some guns, you can do that too. So
they need to tip you out, I think, they need to tip you out.
I have a friend that keeps telling me you're going to end up working down there at that Patriot Academy. So, but I'm sticking with Moms for Liberty. This is where I belong.
Well, they're good partners of ours and good friends of ours. And every American really should understand the legislative process at that level. I know they won't, and not everybody can get to Fredericksburg and go through that. But if you can, I know that video was promoting whole organizations going, but they have sessions going all the time, and just a single person can go or a group can go.
Mm-hmm. And you're close to the Alamo. You can visit the Alamo too, which is another great story.
Yeah. There's great guacamole in Texas. I got a laundry list, so you can line dance, you can wear your hat. There's all kinds of things in Texas. So I'm glad you thought that was a good experience. And so you got to actually go there because of Moms for Liberty and because of our donors, and they're so generous to be able to fund for us to be able to take our people there for training, because they understand the importance of the work that we're doing, and having our moms understanding the process, the legislative process, and helping build that deep appreciation for our founders, our founding documents, the Constitution, I think is vital. It's vital to saving this country.
100%.
So just a shout out to our donors, and of course a call, which I've never done on our show before, but feel free to donate to Moms for Liberty. We are funded solely on donations. We don't take any government grants. We don't have this pool of dark money. We don't have George Soros in our back pocket fueling us. So feel free to go to momsforliberty.org/donate and support our organization. So the next thing I want to talk about a little bit is, I think in your pre-interview, we asked about your most emotional moment, and it ties it into Summit, which is great for me because, of course, I want to talk about Summit, because Summit is next month.
Fine, yes.
And so, but let's talk about you and your most emotional moment doing this work so far.
Yes, well, I have been blessed to get to go to all of the summits. So I started in Tampa, and yes, I definitely did observe from a high-rise hotel all of the protesters that were down and writing with chalk and things on the sidewalk and things like that. That was the first time. And then the second one was Philly. We went to Philadelphia, which was quite an experience because, like I mentioned, I got to go to Independence Hall. The Liberty Bell was there. And I didn't stand in line for that. I was more interested in Independence Hall. But also during that time, you had arranged for us to all go to the Revolutionary War Museum. So we had gotten all ready and got on these buses, and some people brought their kids. We were all dressed up, and we didn't know where we were going, but it was a reception. It was a museum, And when we get there, you had gotten security because we knew there were protesters once. There were probably going to be protesters again. And they had actually lined up outside of this event. I think there was there vandalism the night before? There was even vandalism there the night before. So they were not happy that we were coming to learn and be together at this museum. So when the buses pulled up, it was just the angry crowd, just ugly faces. It was shocking, really. But there was true joy and peace in our hearts. Because we knew we were doing the right thing. We knew that we were standing for our founding principles and timeless truths. And so I think they had put a red carpet out. And I remember just stepping out on the red carpet and growing up, okay, I wanted to be a movie star, a rock star. Okay, this was not the crowd that I was really expecting to see. But it was kind of just like a full circle moment, because I've learned that the movie stars and the rock stars are not the people to look up to. And so the people who you should look up to are those who are fighting for truth and justice and liberty. So it was the moment, I guess I arrived, my red carpet moment with all the protesters. And then we had a lovely time. That's the most important part. We had a lovely time. I got to meet Timothy Barton. He was there speaking. He signed my biblical citizenship notebook. I now have Rick Green and Timothy Barton have signed my book. So these are the people I look up for. The people who are fighting to save America are my heroes, finally. And I'm in my mid-40s. It took me a while.
Yeah.
So it's never too late.
That is such a great story, though, because then I can think about that whole experience from my perspective and what had happened behind the scenes. And I don't know how much you know, but leading up every week for over a month, the protesters were at that museum trying to get them to not host us. Their own employees were threatening to quit because they didn't want to serve us. And the owner, they'd already signed a contract, and they said, we're gonna stick to our contract. But they were nervous and upset and not real thrilled about what was happening. But they had a contract with us, and they were being called all the names that we were being called. And they're just there to
Work their job.
They have George Washington's original tent from Valley Forge
It is
inside
such
there.
an amazing museum. The artwork is amazing.
This is the American Museum of the Revolutionary War in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, if you're interested. They have that first flag. Did you see the Liberty flag? Oh, I wanted a picture of that so bad, but you can't take a picture of it because it's already so deteriorated. What I thought was fascinating, I personally designed the Moms for Liberty logo. And so I didn't look at other things. I just designed it for what I felt. I wanted the word "for" in our name. I wanted it to be a different font. I remember thinking about it. And when I stood in front of that Liberty flag, what I know, and it's from the 1700s, what I noticed is it's all capitals times. I don't know that they knew what fonts were, but it's like a Times New Roman font, which is the same as our Liberty, all capital. And I don't know where I got that from. I don't know where, maybe I saw it, maybe it's used that way in other places. I don't know, but that struck me staring at this deteriorated flag from the 1700s and seeing the word liberty kind of in the same fashion that it is in our logo. And I was like, yeah, it was a moment for me. But leading up to the museum that night, the protests were happening. The night before, a window was smashed as part of the protest. George Washington crossing the Delaware was spray painted across. And then I had to get in an Uber and go over there during the day before that. We went over there that night to meet with the museum leadership and Philly PD and the community police council and all of these people. And they told me the amount of the police force that was going to have to be out and how they were going to have to shut down the block and where the lines would be, where the protesters would be. And I had such a sense of I knew I had the lives of 750 of our members kind of in my hands. And I was making decisions at that moment about their life. And some of them had their babies, their kids with them. When you watch the videos of us walking in with those rage-filled protesters and moms with 2 little girls just walking down, the kids covering their ears, it's almost surreal to watch that unfold. And I remember asking Philly PD if they could stage all the riot police they were going to have behind the building instead of in front of the building, just for the optics of if we need them, they'll be that close, but let's just stage them behind. But our bus, there were several buses going back and forth. I don't know about your bus. The bus I was on came from behind. And so you had to drive by all those staged rows of riot police and battering vehicles. And
it's ridiculous. I mean, there's got to be something better for those people to do than stand in the streets and wave their fist at us, really.
The level of protection that we needed is for standing for truth in America, in the cradle of liberty, where these founding documents were drafted, signed, debated.
Yeah.
I will never forget those 3 days.
We're in trouble. We're still in trouble.
We are.
I mean, yes.
But that was a turning point. I think that was a big turning point. All eyes were on us in Philly. And I remember we had a lot of people that wouldn't go out of fear, even in our own organization, or spouses that wouldn't even allow their wives to go out of fear. And rightly so. Look what we had to go endure. But I knew in my gut, that's where we had to go. And I'm going to say it like communists, because it was the young communists outside with signs.
On their flyers.
Those young socialists of America, those were the groups that were out there. They don't get to take America from us. They do not get to take our city where all of this was started. They don't get to hold the ground where George Washington walked, where Thomas Jefferson wrote and drafted this. They don't get that. And I felt that in my core. And as much pushback as I heard throughout even our own organization, why Philly? Why not go to a red state? Why not go where we know we can be safe? I said, we'll bring all the security we need, but they're not getting that city. They're not getting that ground.
I love that, Tina.
Yeah. And so we went and we did it. And, I will never forget those 3 days. But this year's summit will not be
a little sunshinier, won't it? Yes. Come to Orlando.
Yeah. So it's in Orlando. It's 36 days away, guys. 36 days away.
Yay.
Are you excited?
Of course I am. Yes, always. I love to get together. I love to celebrate the amazing people that have stepped up to do this work. I love to watch the podcast. So enjoyed getting to know people as they sit in this seat. I love our awards ceremony that we give for those who are just doing amazing things, because there's just so much going on, and can't wait to celebrate.
So our Founders Awards, which she just mentioned, we have 6 awards named after founding mothers, and a 7th award is our Joyful Warrior Award. We've given them away every year at the gala, which is on Saturday night, October 18th this year. I will tell you, yesterday, the finalists were chosen. Yay! So we should be announcing those soon. As always, so many nominations, so hard to pick.
Sure.
Everybody is so worthy and so deserving. And so there's so much goodness happening out there. There's always tears shed when reading through the stories. And so there's even more tears shed.
Will there be laughter? Now, I know we had some really good comedians in Washington, D.C., so I don't know if you've announced yet, but
we have not announced publicly, but in the next day or two we will. So I'll go ahead for those that are watching the podcast and say, Alex Stein, number 99, will be joining us at our summit this year. He is outrageous. He scares me. I'm not going to lie. He joined us at our chapter leadership call. So you probably already know this if you were on last month. We kind of previewed to you guys some of the speakers. And he's over the top. Absolutely over the top all the time. But the point of bringing him in, A, he's a little bit of comic relief to a lot of the serious stuff we're doing. But 2, it's what he's had to do sometimes to get attention and show the absurdity of what's happening in America is actually a conversation I think that we need to have with him. Like, why did you have to dress up in huge costumes to go speak at your school board meeting or your city council meeting? Part of it, I look at that and I'm like, you're just making a mockery of our government, our system. But the other part of me says the mockery has already been made.
100%. I mean, actually, the fact that we take some of these things seriously, I get it. Like, that kind of perpetuates them. Some of this just needs to be mocked and left behind. So don't get me started on all that.
Well, that's what Alex Stein does. Prime time number 99, I think he calls himself. So he'll be joining us at Summit.
That sounds fun.
If you're watching at home, I think we've announced 12 or 13 speakers so far. We've got Byron Donalds, Congressman Byron Donalds, who's running for Florida governor. We've got his wife, Erica Donalds, who's a warrior in her own right. Who else have we announced already?
Southern Legal Foundation.
Yeah, Southeastern Legal Foundation, Kim Herman.
Yes.
She's the one that led our Title IX lawsuit. Yep. She's a plethora of knowledge. We'll have peppered in throughout Summit a lot of our moms that have been named in lawsuits, speaking brief little testimony bios of what they've experienced and what they've been going through. It's an exciting time. Screen Strong is coming. We know that
that's
morning.
From North Carolina. So
really?
I actually, I love
Melanie, I think her name is.
Yes. Yeah. So I love Screen Strong. And actually I've been to one of their ambassadors, and I actually looked into being an ambassador for Screen Strong. So you're lucky you got me. No, I'm teasing. But they have amazing resources. And I've bought the brain books because I have a 13-year-old boy, and it is a challenge. These devices are really challenging parenting, and so I really hope everybody. Does she have a breakout session, or is she going to?
Yeah, she's doing a full breakout session, and I think we're going to take a minute here, and you can watch a video about Summit. It's a 1-minute video. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the speakers that have already been announced.
Elena, what state are you from?
New York.
Hawaii.
I'm from Texas. Washington. I have my kids actually with me to do the march.
Wherever I go, odds are there is a Moms for Liberty group or a whole tribe in the room sounding off loud and proud.
And you could see the passion here because it's about supporting kids.
Pledge to each other that we will live like men and women who are determined to remain free.
I'm for parental rights all the way.
I know. Kelly was just asking on the break if Glenn Beck was coming back this year, and that is a no because he has a huge event, including with Tim and David Barton the night on Saturday night of our gala. They have
I might have to go to that.
No, you can't.
No, I
And
won't.
so
Not for gala.
will not be joining us this year, but some of the speakers that we've announced, James Lindsay will be back. He's always a favorite of our moms. Nobody exposes communism like James Lindsay.
Brilliant mind.
Tyler O'Neill is joining us this year. Do you know who he is?
I do not.
So he writes for the Daily Signal, but he has written a book and he exposes the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Oh.
He's done all of the research on them. He writes all of the articles when they add people to their hate list. And and then he's going to lead a panel. Jamie Michelle from Gays Against Groomers, we've announced, is going to be on that panel. We just have Corey DeAngelis is coming. He's never spoken at one of our summits before, and he's like the main warrior against the teachers unions and Randy. So it's going to be exciting. Oh, U.S. Senator Ashley Moody will be there. And we probably have 40 more speakers that we've got like 30 more just waiting. We're making their graphics to announce. And then we've got a few outstanding. We're waiting on confirmations, some really big names I think people will be excited about. So get to Florida, October 16th through the 19th. Go to momsforliberty.org/summit25. You will not regret it, right? Do you think?
I agree.
Have you ever regretted coming to one?
Amazing. Listen, I mean, I was new to the organization and I went to the first summit, and I mean, I'm sure there's very similar stories, just feeling like you were in the room with your people and emotional, and just singing the national anthem. There's just so many things. I promise you will be stirred up, you will be moved, and you will be encouraged to go back to your community and fight for our country. So come to Summit.
I love the stirred up comment that you said, because I feel like you're, not only are you stirred up in your patriotism at our summits, we work hard to make sure we talk about the beauty and the importance of America, but there's always this underlining stirring up of your spirit, I feel like, at Summit. And I was telling somebody last night about the Sunday morning that first year with Dr. Elvita King and Mrs. Ben Carson and Mary Milburn singing a cappella, spur of the moment, not a dry eye in the place. So Summit always has those just moments where things are kind of falling apart, like they do at big events behind the scenes, and then they come together more beautifully than ever. And
I'll never forget Tulsi Gabbard when she spoke, and she was so eloquent, and I never really had heard her speak, but she really drove it home that our weapon is love. We have got to love people in this time out of the darkness. So that's something that, come feel the love.
Yeah.
We're going to love people. We're going to be joyful.
Joyful Warrior.
Yep.
It's a Joyful
We're not gonna
Warrior
give up.
National Summit. That is what we call it. And there's a reason we call it that, because no matter what the world calls us, no matter what they try to title us as, it's not who we are.
That's right.
We know who we are. And I think you had said that in your pre-interview too, somewhere, like you just get frustrated maybe that we're labeled things that we aren't. And I think you said something about we have to show them who we are. So you want to say a little bit about that? What does that mean to you?
Well, I think there was a little bit about leadership, and I never imagined, maybe I should share a little bit about the fact that someone else opened my chapter in my county, and then she was looking for someone to take it over. It just wasn't the right time of life for her. And she's still my buddy. She actually got together and prayed with me before I came. And her name's Kelly too. So it just passed from one Kelly to the next. But so when I took this over, I felt totally unqualified. Didn't know what I was doing, had no plans to be on a board, to lead people. This was not really my cup of tea. So everything that I've been doing is really just out of obedience. And, I signed up to do it. I talked about duty, and I know that there were people willing to die for my freedom. So I think I could probably organize a meeting and get an agenda together, right? So I've just been taking one foot in front of the other, but I am really big on, I won't ask anybody to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. And that's the whole actions speak louder than words. And everything is about relationships. So if somebody doesn't know you, I guess they can say whatever they want about you. And if you want them to know you, you're going to have to show up. And I've had meetings with administration. I was invited to the Portrait of a Graduate work that they were doing in my district. So it's important that we work towards those relationships and partner with other organizations too. So that's my leadership punch.
Yeah, no, I love it. So what I hear in there is one of Moms for Liberty's values, building relationships.
Yes.
You have said that throughout this entire interview.
They're very
what-
important to me. I just love all my people. I have an amazing executive board. I have amazing volunteers. We have people that they show up, they're willing to do things. They call me, they encourage me. I just want to thank everybody. And I actually wrote all your names down last night, so I could have read them off, but I don't think that makes a good podcast. But I hope you know who you are. I'm so thankful for the work that we're doing, pulling together. And I just pray that will continue across. That's why I love being an ambassador. It's easy to know that we need more people in this work. And so I love telling people, hey, you've got something you can do. Everybody can make a difference. Everybody can do something. So don't be at home wondering what you can do. Write a letter, show up, find out, do you have a chapter in your county? Maybe you have a neighboring county. Show up. I mean, people are putting these meetings on, they're getting prepared, and it's nice to go and support them.
So I think that all of that is a testament to your leadership, the relationship building, being invited to do things in your school district now. Didn't start that way. You have to build over time. You've been doing it for, when did you start?
So 2022 is when I took over.
So 4 years. And it takes time. Like, people have to have patience. I know a lot of our chapter chairs get frustrated, and it wears on you, and it's exhausting. But it takes time, slow and steady. I love how you said one step in front of the other, because I think that's what it takes for success in this work.
Yeah.
So what buoys you up when everyone has the moments. I mean, you're cheerful and happy and a great joyful warrior, but I know, just like with all of us, there's moments where you're like, I can't do this anymore.
So there is a lot of mental warfare. Honestly, it does get discouraging. What we know about is heavy. I can doom scroll on Facebook and get myself in a bad place. I mean, there's horrible things going on around the country and around the world. So the Lord is my strength, and the joy of the Lord is my strength. That's it. I am a born again believer, and I am only doing what God calls me to do. So that is where I always fall back. And I don't know what he'll have me doing for tomorrow, but today he has me doing a podcast with you. And I see the mission of Moms for Liberty. I support it. I mean, educate, empower, unify, save the country. I can get behind that. So, that's all I have to do, is just continue meeting people. I love people too. I love going. Guys, stop watching fake TV. Go to your school board meetings. Listen to these people speak from their heart. It's way more entertaining. We need to be speaking to power and connecting. The devices, they divide us. Connect with real human people. Let's not lose our humanity. We'll talk about AI another day, because I know you're at the conference. I want to hear all about that, but we can't lose our humanity.
That's going to make a great clip later. Connect. I love the pitch for going to a school board meeting. I went last week. I went to my first school board meeting, honestly, in a few years. And
I watched the one in Virginia.
Did you watch it?
I was at soccer practice. Hey, you can watch them when your kids are playing soccer.
You were watching one in another
I was the weird
state.
lady with my dog on one cord and my phone plugged in on another cord. And my friend is a patriot as well. She's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm watching a school board meeting from Virginia." "Oh, okay." No big deal.
Totally normal.
So,
totally normal.
It was a doozy.
It was, to sit in that room again. You can't clap or make any sounds as per their rules. So instead of, for those that aren't listening and watching, you can see my hands doing jazz hands. You're allowed to do jazz hands only. And so it was interesting to watch that unfolding, people doing jazz hands for their favorite speaker. One of our moms did jazz hands at one point, and the guy behind us got really mad. I mean, I forgot all this. I haven't been to a school board meeting in a while. Tapped her on the shoulder and said, "I can't believe you're mocking who's speaking." And she's like, "No, I'm doing jazz hands." The pressure in the room of what's happening, the intensity of those local politics. You are not wrong. Who needs reality TV shows? Go to your local school board meeting,
but in the hopes that we'll all simmer back down to some kind of a normalcy, because we have to allow people to be who they are and express themselves the way they want to express themselves. But we're just a little bit off the deep end right now. And for our kids, can we just leave the kids out of it?
Yeah.
That's my thing. Can our schools be a safe place where kids can just go and be kids? That's really all we're looking for. I grew up in a small town, small then, Boise, Idaho. I was in a school building that was 100 years old. We were the Cougars. I mean, we learned our patriotic songs. I was a good citizen. I know that we can do education in a public school, but we're off course, and we've got to get back on course. You have to teach your children to love the nation that they're growing up in. We can love each other without talking and dividing into race. It's possible, and everybody, we've got to just speak it, do it. We've got to be the change that the world needs to see.
There you have it, folks. We are going to end right there in that powerful statement from our guest today, Kelli, from the state of North Carolina, chapter chair, an ambassador, an amazing ambassador for Moms for Liberty, for our country, I would say, for the Constitution of America. She has spoken true words today from her heart about the importance of loving our country, the importance of understanding our history, the importance of love, I would say, and building community around these principles that we hold dear in the United States of America. So I think this has been a powerful episode. Thank you, Kelli, for
Read your
joining
Constitution.
us. Read your Constitution. 7 days away is Constitution Day.
That's
so
right, you have time.
You've got 7 days to go register for National Summit. Read your Constitution and sign up for a class at Patriot Academy. Those are your takeaways.
Pray for our nation.
Pray for our nation. Go to your next school board meeting. Gosh, you have a lot of demands.
There's so much. There's things I didn't even talk about, guys.
It's been a great episode. Thank you for joining us today on the Fire of Liberty show, where every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. we bring you joyful warriors from the front lines of this culture war that are fighting for the survival of America. And we will see you next week.